The night the betrayal happened, Daniel never thought a simple stone could destroy everything he had built with his family. It wasn't even an extraordinary stone at first glance. Just a jagged, greyish piece he had picked up from the riverbank one summer evening. He kept it in his workshop, not because of its appearance, but because of the feeling it gave him. Something about it reminded him of peace, like the days he used to spend with his father fishing near that same river before life became complicated. That stone carried meaning for him, though no one else could see it. When Daniel's father passed away, the family gathered to divide his belongings, but it was clear they weren't interested in sentimental keepsakes. His siblings wanted money, the house, the land, anything that could bring them wealth. Daniel stayed quiet through most of it until his younger brother noticed the stone sitting on the old shelf. "What's that? Some kind of gem?" he scoffed, laughing as he picked it up. Daniel calmly explained that it was just a rock he kept for memories, not for profit. But suspicion was already growing in their eyes. Soon, whispers turned to accusations, and by the end of the night, his family accused him of hiding something valuable and trying to cheat them out of their rightful share. Daniel tried to defend himself, swearing that it was nothing more than a keepsake. But they didn't listen. They turned on him, calling him selfish, dishonest, even pathetic for clinging to something so meaningless. His mother, the one person he hoped would take his side, stood in silence, letting their words cut him deeper than any blade. That night, Daniel walked out of the house carrying nothing but that stone in his pocket and his loyal dog Max by his side. The betrayal hurt more than losing any material possession. He lost the bond he thought would never break. Life after that wasn't easy. Daniel lived alone in a small cabin near the edge of the woods. His family stopped calling, stopped visiting, and even when he reached out, his messages were ignored. The stone stayed on his nightstand, a reminder of both his loss and his resilience. People in town heard whispers of the story too. Some mocked him, others pitied him, but Daniel focused only on his work and on Max, who remained his only constant companion. One stormy night, Max began barking furiously near the edge of the property. Daniel ran outside to find him digging into the ground where rainwater had washed away the soil. At first, Daniel thought it was just some small animal or another useless rock. But when he pulled Max back and knelt down, his eyes widened. The soil had revealed a cluster of stones that shimmered faintly under the lightning. He picked one up, and though Daniel didn't recognize it immediately, he sensed it wasn't ordinary. The next day, curiosity led him to a local geologist who confirmed the shocking truth. The useless stone he had kept all those years wasn't ordinary at all. It was a rare mineral, part of a larger deposit buried beneath his land, something people would consider priceless. Daniel sat in silence as the weight of the revelation sank in. The very stone that made his family turn against him had just proven them wrong. But instead of rushing to profit, Daniel thought differently. He had lost too much already to greed and betrayal. He worked carefully with professionals, allowing some of the stone's value to provide for him and Max, while preserving the land in honor of his father's memory. News of his discovery spread fast, and soon his family came knocking again, faces filled with regret. They tried to apologize, tried to explain that they never meant to push him away. But Daniel looked into their eyes and saw the same hunger as before. This time, however, he wasn't the same man they had betrayed. He didn't slam the door in their faces, nor did he let them in completely. Instead, Daniel chose the path of quiet strength. He told them the truth, that forgiveness doesn't erase betrayal, and trust once broken, takes more than words to rebuild. He wasn't vengeful, but he wasn't naive either. He allowed them to visit, to remember the father they all once shared, but the wealth stayed untouched by their hands. It was never about money. Years later, Daniel became known not for his fortune, but for the lesson his story carried. He gave speeches in schools and small communities, telling young people how true value in life often lies in things others overlook: loyalty, honesty, and the courage to stand alone if necessary. Max, his faithful companion, remained at his side until his final days. The true symbol of loyalty Daniel had once searched for in his family, but found only in the heart of his dog. The story left a message that resonated far beyond Daniel's small town. Sometimes what the world calls useless turns out to be priceless. And sometimes the greatest treasures aren't the ones you dig from the ground, but the ones that remain in your heart.